firstly, I want to wish Minister McEntee and Minister Brown well on their important work in the Department of Justice over the next number of years. Minister, I have raised with a number of your predecessors the urgent need for a comprehensive and thorough investigation into the bombing in Belturbet in December 1972, both in Northern Ireland and in our own state. I am not convinced that an adequate investigation has been carried out in Northern Ireland, and I would appeal to you to ensure that every possible avenue of investigation is pursued. And I would like, Minister, if you would raise this matter with your counterpart in Northern Ireland, with the Secretary of State for Northern Ireland, and also with the British Foreign Secretary, because we must ensure that the perpetrators of this horrendous crime are brought to justice.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alaskan Gordon.
Thank you, Deputy, and thank you for raising this issue. And I know that this is a long-standing interest of the deputies, and I agree the perpetrators of this crime should be brought to justice. This is an appalling bomb attack that took place in Belturbet in 1972, which sadly cost 2 innocent young people their lives and indeed injured many others. I wish to extend my most sincere sympathy to those who were bereaved and injured in that terrible attack, and obviously there are many people who understandably are still suffering the effects from it. I appreciate that the Deputy continues to seek answers, in particular with regard to bringing the perpetrators to justice. It is the sincere wish of me, and I think anybody involved in this at all, that this would happen. I'm informed by the Garda authorities that the matter was thoroughly investigated at the time by An Garda Síochána, with assistance from the Defence Forces and the close cooperation of the authorities in Northern Ireland. Despite their best efforts, however, it was not possible to secure evidence which would have led to the prosecution of the perpetrators. I appreciate fully that this continues to remain a source of disappointment and extreme frustration, particularly for family members of those who passed away. The passage of almost 50 years at this stage, and with no new evidence forthcoming, I regret that we must be realistic about the limited prospects for a successful prosecution in this case. Nevertheless, and in saying that, I have been assured by the Garda authorities that the case remains open, that it will remain open, and that they will continue to investigate any new information that they may receive. They also remain committed to working with the PSNI as necessary where that could advance the investigation. I would ask anybody who has information in relation to this act that they should bring it to the attention of the Gardaí and the authorities, and of course I have no issue with, and I will commit to raise this with my counterparts in Northern Ireland and in the UK as the Deputy has asked. Thank you.
Britain. Minister, recently the University of Nottingham contacted me with a recent detailed document in relation to loyalist activities in Northern Ireland, and particularly in Cavan and Monaghan. A very detailed article has been written by Edward Burke, an assistant professor in Nottingham University, and the article is entitled Loyalist Mobilisation and Cross-Border Violence in Rural Ulster, 1972 to 1974. And one of the subheadings is Blowing Up Belturbet, Loyalist Operations in County Cavan. And I quote, at approximately 9 p.m. on the night of December 28th, a red Ford Escort with at least 2 passengers, a young man and a woman, crossed the Bailey Bridge at Ahalane and made its way to the nearby town of Belturbet in County Cavan. An hour and a half later, the same car exploded on Main Street, Belturbet, killing 2 teenagers, Geraldine O'Reilly, age 15, and Paddy Stanley, age 16. 12 more people were injured, some seriously, including Geraldine O'Reilly's brother. Minister, I will forward this document to yourself and to your department and to An Garda Síochána. There are a lot of information in this, and I would sincerely hope that the Northern Ireland authorities will cooperate with our authorities in Garda Síochána and your department in ensuring that a necessary and proper investigation is carried out.
Thank you, Deputy Minister.
I obviously haven't seen the document that you've just referred to, but I would be happy to receive it, as I'm sure An Garda Síochána or the PSNI would be also. They are absolutely committed where there is new evidence or where there is an ability for them to pursue and to reach a conclusion and to bring these perpetrators to justice. They want to do that, but obviously it's very difficult without any new evidence, having, I suppose, such a period of time lapsed at this stage. But this case will remain open. They're absolutely committed to that. I do know, maybe just for the Deputy's information, in particular the families in question have recently sought access to files under the Freedom of Information Act, and I just want to inform the Deputy that those records are being prepared for release to the families. I've been advised that the normal response time frame has passed, so that it's gone on a bit longer than they would like, but as the Deputy would appreciate, the request necessitated significant work with regards to older files, but also preparations of paper, as with any necessary redactions that may need to be taken into account. This work is now concluded and they'll be released in the coming days. I know that's something that the family had been looking for, so just to inform the Deputy of that.
Mr. Minister, recently I had the privilege of attending, along with the O'Reilly and Stanley families, the publication of the book Children of the Troubles, The Untold Story of the Children Killed in the Northern Ireland Conflict. This book was written by Joe Duffy of RTE and by Freya McClemens of the Irish Times. And I just quote the extract in relation to the Belturbet bombing. Geraldine was one of 2 children killed in the explosion. The other, Patrick Stanley, had been calling his mother from a phone box when the bomb went off. Nobody has ever been convicted of the atrocity, but according to Lost Lives, reliable loyalist sources attribute the bombings to the UVF. The bomb killed 2 people, both children. Paddy and 15-year-old Geraldine O'Reilly are now remembered with a memorial in Belturbet. Minister, over the years I've been in contact quite often with the O'Reilly and the Stanley family, and they're seeking justice. They know that unfortunately their beloved family members will not be brought back to life, and they lost them at such a young age. That book, written by Joe Duffy and by Freya McClemens, Children of the Troubles, it should be nearly compulsory reading in our schools because of the devastation and the loss of life during that time. Children killed by provisional paramilitaries, by loyalist paramilitaries, and some by British state forces as well. Minister, when we talk about children being killed, it absolutely amplifies the futility of conflict, but the absolute need as well for families to get justice. Thank you, Alaska and Corla.
Thank you, Deputy, and I fully agree with you. The use of violence in any instance is reprehensible and should never be a course of action for anybody, and particularly where you see such innocent young lives being lost. I can only begin, or I can't even begin to imagine the pain and suffering that not just the families of these 2 victims that they have faced over the years, but the many, many victims of violence on this island in recent years. Violence should never be the answer, and I think we need to ensure that we do absolutely everything possible to support with, to work with and Garda Síochána, the communities involved here, to try and bring these perpetrators to justice, but also to bring other perpetrators who have never been caught to justice for many other serious crimes and murders that have taken place over the last number of decades. So I just want to thank the Deputy for raising this, to assure you that we will do what we can. If there is new evidence, if there is any new information that has come to light, then obviously I would encourage you and anybody else to bring it to the attention of Garda Síochána. Thank you.